Welcome back to Hit the Gas. I'm your host, Jake Gose.
We got to do an
You
outtake. We got to do some outtakes for this. This will be so funny. Like the bloopers. These are going to be so funny.
Produced by Podcast Architects.
Welcome back to Hit the Gas. I'm your host, Jake Gose. I'm joined by my good friend, Isaiah Carter. He's also my coworker. So how are you doing, Isaiah?
I'm doing pretty well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man, me too. So where are we today?
We are at TALIS, Education Innovators Exchange Conference here in Dallas, Texas.
And what are we doing here exactly?
Today we're filming some content with a couple of TALIS partners. We're shaking hands, meeting new faces, and overall just trying to grow Podcast Architects. So, that's been the goal as of recently, and we're continuing that goal today, and I hope everyone is having a great day. Well, we're having a great day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we drove about, how many hours would you say? About 3, 2,
Maybe 3 hours, yeah.
3 hours?
With
Okay.
stopping in Buc-ee's, Buc-ee's is essential. So
Right,
about 3
absolutely.
hours, roughly.
What do you like so much about Buc-ee's?
I don't know. It's one of those Texas things.
Okay.
I think everyone in Texas, if you're on the road, you're going to stop somewhere on a road trip. It's going to be Buc-ee's.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for no reason at all. I actually know people that will drive from home to Buc-ee's 2 hours away just to go to Buc-ee's. Not on a road trip. That is the trip.
That's insane.
It's Buc-ee's. Anyways.
Yeah, why would you, I don't know. Yeah, so, as you know, and you've been on the show a few times, this is kind of insane. I'll tell the viewers about this. So we've had Isaiah on twice before this, and files were corrupted or the audio file was missing or something, and we weren't able to move forward with the show, so which is a huge bummer to me. I love talking to Isaiah. He's got some really good insights. So because of that, I'm going to re-ask some questions that you've probably already answered in the past. But where do you kind of find your motivation? You're a pretty motivated guy. We've had long conversations in the car talking about, your high school football career. You're now heavily into wrestling, and you're kind of moving around. So you're working full time with Podcast Architects as a sales executive. And you're also doing, a lot of stuff with your wrestling career. How do you kind of balance that?
I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It is a lot of stuff. And I think the first things that you have to do when you're balancing stuff like that is just to, I say, visualize it.
Okay.
Put it on paper so you can see your schedule for the week.
Sure.
Because if you can't see your schedule, you're just moving day to day, it's hectic. I use Google Calendars a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't use Google Calendars until I joined Podcast Architects.
Same.
And now every day that I'm waking up, I haven't got my wife on it. She's Google Calendars. It's essential to our lives because it organizes what you do. It shows you where you're going to be going next. I'm not forgetting your birthday. I'm not forgetting the dinner we planned. So that's very essential. So balancing wrestling and working with PA, which is very hectic right now.
Yeah.
But rightfully so. We're trying to grow the brand. We're trying to grow the company. Trying to make sales. Trying to expand our name nationwide. So it's gonna be hectic, and it's part of the game.
What are some of your goals with Podcast Architects? I did my goals recently. We do individual goals every quarter.
Yeah.
So if you are comfortable with sharing, what were some of those? I don't know who you did yours with, but
Yeah, I haven't done my goals for this quarter yet.
Oh wow, okay.
But a couple of those goals will be kind of revised from what I had last quarter. Last quarter was kind of ambitious, to say the least, because I just joined the company.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come out of the gates firing. I wanted 18 sales. I wanted to, do all these crazy things. But, taking a step back, understanding where you are at the current moment, your current skill set, what I had, in that moment, I wasn't ready for that yet. So this next set of goals is going to be more so tailored towards tangible things that I can actually achieve in the next 3 months, going into the next year.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
So what's one?
I think one will be at least averaging 5 sales a month.
5 sales a month. Okay.
I think with a couple of things we have in the pipeline right now for advertising, marketing, and just things of that nature, I think we'll be able to easily, attain 5 sales a month.
Okay.
And depending on the sale, that sale could be upwards of 6 figures. It could be, who knows, 7 figures. You never know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, that's one of my big ones, is trying to get 5 sales a month.
Is there a specific company or individual that you are really dead set on selling to, or just kind of whoever comes along?
And whoever comes along, I don't really care who I sell to, because I'm gonna sell to you regardless. Like it could be a monkey, I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell a monkey a banana
Yeah,
regardless. It might be even be a plastic banana, but I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah.
He might want a souvenir. He might want an art piece. He's gonna have a piece of art that the monkey can now use. But nonetheless, just on a side tangent there. But I don't really have a specific demographic customer base that I want to sell to. I do want to get more into sports, but if it doesn't happen, whatever. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna sell something to somebody. So
Absolutely.
whether you are the president or the local family-owned insurance company,
Sure,
we're gonna sell to you.
Awesome. So that kind of leads me to my next question here. What do you do to make a sale? So there's a lot of different sales tactics that everybody kind of uses. And I'm kind of curious, you are you're kind of an interesting guy. So you're a quiet and loud guy at the same time. We've had a few different conversations, but whenever you're kind of in a crowd of people, you're a little bit more reserved.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how does that, do you just come out the gate like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Isaiah, and then you just try to start selling to them, or is it like a more of a gradual build-up?
Yeah, my sales process is getting better. I'm working on multiple things. Working alongside Ben, our founder.
Mm-hmm.
He's been able to teach me a lot of things. But aside from Ben, progressing further, I think as a salesman, you're always learning. You're always evolving your process, your tactics. The way you say hi to someone will change in 2 years from the way you say hi to someone now.
Mm-hmm.
The way you say bye to someone will change from the way you say bye to someone now. I might
Sure.
say bye to you today. It's like, all right, bro, bye.
Yeah.
But in 2 years, I might say, all right, man, bye. Good talking to you. I might be moved on. You never know. Things are ever changing.
Sure.
So with that being said, a guy that I listen to pretty often, Eric Thomas, he said, you could be in a crowd of people, and this specific motivational speech was more so tailored to being precise and concise about what you're shooting at and your target. So we're about to talk about shooting things. So he said, in the military, you got your gunners and you got your snipers. Your gunners will go in and they will, light the whole house up. They'll shoot off the walls. They'll do whatever they got to do to get to the target. As opposed to your sniper, he's going in, he's camping out, he's sitting there for 14 hours. He's getting everything he needs to get in. He's getting the intel. He knows where this person's going to be at this specific time. So when he takes that shot, it's going to hit. And then when he takes the shot, the guy never knew the shot was coming. He never knew anything about it, but he executed his mission. And it was complete success. So the difference between the gunner and the sniper is the sniper is precise about what he's doing. His tactic is very clear. He's done the research. He's had the intel. He's studied. He's practiced all these things, and now it's game time.
Yeah.
As opposed to the gunner, which I would say a gunner is like your traditional salesman who's always shaking hands, ready to mingle, all that good stuff. They're ready to talk to anyone. It's not me so much. I'm really a reserved guy until you get to know me, and then I'm more so you'll see who I am essentially, once the guard is down. But for the most part in sales, I act like a sniper. I scout the environment, whether I'm in a conference room with 100 people or I'm in a small room with 10 people. I scout the environment and I understand who's in the room, who I'm talking to, who's the big dog, who's kind of the associates, the ones that can get me to the big dog.
Yeah.
And then I execute from there. I go from point A to point B, and I figured out how can I get to my end goal.
Yeah.
So with me being a sniper.
That's cool. That's a great analogy. I like that. Who did you say the speaker was? Eric Smith?
Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Eric Thomas.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll have to check him
And
out.
I probably said that in the wrong way, but I know the gist of what he said was, you're a machiner and you're a sniper. And the machiner just shoots everything. And the sniper is precise about what he's shooting at, and he's looking to get to his target with one shot.
Got you. Yeah, I think that's definitely the better way to approach sales. I'm not a salesman myself, but it's not uncommon for me to talk to either clients or different potential clients about podcast architects. So and then lead them to you. For the future of PA, do you have so you have your individual's goals, right? And you said five sales a month. Is there something that you can kind of tell me about where you want Podcast Architects as a company to be within the next 5 years?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't look that far ahead. I kind of do, but when you do, nothing ever goes according to plan. So I don't look that far ahead.
Okay.
5 years, I could be in Oregon or something, living on a mountain, fishing for a living. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I'm very spontaneous. So I might tell my wife, hey, let's probably move to Oregon.
Yeah.
In like 3 years. And I'm like, live on a farm,
Yeah.
have some cows, just random stuff. So I don't like to look that far ahead. But what I can say is, at the current trajectory that we're moving at Podcast Architects, there's no reason why we should not be one of the major players in our current industry, which being is podcasting.
Yeah.
The way we do things, the way we execute, the way we handle our clients, our customer service, it's unmatched. When you're talking about guys, not guys, I'm not gonna say any names. When you talk about bigger businesses that do the same thing we do, there are very few. They do it in a way that's not, ethical, that's not in good faith, that's not according to what we call our core values, and it's not the best customer service or the best customer experience. So we encounter those people that have left those bigger companies and they come to us, they're like, oh, you guys are way more, attention to detail and things like that.
Sure.
So with that being said, there's no reason why we shouldn't be one of the major players in the game in 5 years.
That's
Probably even less than 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely moving forward at a pretty rapid pace, trying to build systems and everything like that. So you had a YouTube channel back in the day, right?
Yeah, I did.
Is that okay for me to bring that up?
Absolutely.
Okay. So a question that I had whenever I was younger, I met a few of my heroes, my YouTube heroes out in Raw Gym, or what's it called, Zoo Culture Gym, out there in LA. It's Bradley Martin's gym. A few of our viewers might know of him. And I met David Lade and Sawyer Klatt. And so David Lade was kind of, he acted a little bit, I don't know. I kind of freaked out because I met him, so I think he was weirded out by me. But anyway, I actually had a pretty good conversation with Sawyer, and I asked him, do you think it's worth starting a YouTube channel today with all of the, I mean, there's so much content out there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think, like, for the viewer watching, maybe they have an iPhone and, like, they know a little bit about editing, should they just go ahead and start a YouTube channel, or do you think they should just spend your time doing something else?
First things first, in this generation, a lot of parents are hesitant to support, their children and their teens. They don't want to go into this whole YouTube space and digital space, and they say get a real job, and they say do all these other things that are, in my opinion, is bull junk, basically. With that being said, if you have an iPhone and you want to make YouTube videos, you want to make gaming videos, get the cheapest thing you can get and do it. Like,
Sure.
You're 15, you're in high school still, you're getting a little money on the side, probably got a 9 to 5, not a 9 to 5, sorry about that. Probably got a part-time job, making a little bit of change. You don't pay no bills. Get the cheapest things you can get, look on Facebook Marketplace, look on these eBays, get you a nice camera, heck, use your phone, get your tripod, and make content, man.
Sure.
Because one thing that's for certain in this world, can't nobody do you better than you can do yourself.
Yeah.
So nobody can beat you. So although there's 40 other million forms of content, 40 million different personalities, nobody has your personality. You might act like someone, but nobody's truly you. So in retrospect, nobody can beat you. Nobody can do you better than you can do yourself. So once you're making that content, you're expressing yourself, you're being creative, you're letting all your creative juices flow, you're making all these different things. Then you're editing, you're putting together content. You already developed 2 or 3 key skills that are useful in the real world, and your parents told you to get a real job. So now if you want to keep building on that, you may blow up. You may take off. You may be one of those guys to hit 1 million subscribers.
Sure.
And then you're making 5, 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20K a month.
Yeah.
A lot's changed now in 2023 as opposed to like when I was doing YouTube in 2019 and 18, with the
Monetization.
CPM and the monetization. So per 1,000 views is like $8 as opposed to $15.
I know.
But if you get 1 million views, what is that? Crazy money.
Yeah.
And then it's based on a whole month of views. So if you make 2 videos a day, and you're posting 4 times a week, 5 times a week, one of those videos are bound to blow up.
Yeah.
If it does, and you average 500,000 views a month, this is some good money for a 15-year-old. Now, odds are it's not going to happen that easily. You might get 100 views that first month. You might get no views.
Yeah.
But the key thing is to stay consistent with this whole process, because no one knows you right now.
Yeah.
And you got to let someone know you and know who you are. So in order for that to happen, you got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things I was ever told as of recently, with all the new social medias, TikTok is one of the biggest things to start building a brand on right now. I started doing it myself with wrestling. You can literally post a video post 3 times a day, one of them is gonna get some good traction. You might get 5,000 views. One might get 10, and if people like it, you're gonna keep growing and growing and growing. So you might hit 100,000 views, and then if it takes off well, then TikTok is now recommending your videos to more individuals, and you continue to grow. And then we can take that base from TikTok, bring it to YouTube, and now you got subscribers.
Yeah.
So there's a plethora of ways to grow, and I think regardless of what you have as far as equipment goes, just do it.
Yeah. That's a great message, man. I have a YouTube channel myself. Shameless plug. It's Scoliosis Athletics.
Shameless
I have a podcast on there. It's not nearly as nice as this setup because I don't use Podcast Architects equipment. So if you want your own podcast, do it the right way and let us do it for you at podconsulting.co. I almost forgot our own website. But go ahead and fill out the form there and check it out. Be in contact with Isaiah. He will help you out. Go ahead and check out our website. Links in the description. So anyway, what I was saying was on my YouTube channel, it took me, I want to say 2 years-ish, around 2 years, maybe 1.5, to get like 1,000 subscribers. And I was not consistent with it, at all. I would post like once or twice a month. But I appeal to a very, very specific small demographic. And that's people with scoliosis who want to work out, and most likely dudes. And like, there's not a whole lot of guys who have scoliosis. It's like 1 in 10 out of girls. So the ratio.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, very. So anyway, I bring that up to say, is it very important to have a very specific demographic, or should you try to be more broad?
It is important to be very specific in what you're creating. So if you want to be a gamer, create gaming content. Don't go and create lifestyle vlogs if you want to be a gamer. It's conflicting the whole algorithm.
Yeah.
But if you want to be just a broad YouTuber, you want to game a little bit, you want to stream a little bit, you want to do lifestyle vlog, want to do some unboxing, do that.
Yeah.
But don't combine 5 or 6 categories. Like,
Sure.
if you're going to do something, just make a niche, stick with that. Because people are going to watch for that specific niche. Like,
Yeah.
people watch those ASMR videos because they like the sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, if that person that made an ASMR video went and made a vlog the next day, it probably wouldn't do as well because
Sure.
nobody really even knows who you are.
Yeah.
Aside from just tapping the microphone, whatever it may be. So, pick a category, stick to it, and grow that base. Now, once you have a solid foundation, then you can kind of expand and go into different things. If you want to do vlogs, once people know who you are, do that. But for the most part, pick a niche, stick to it, and grow it.
Absolutely, man. That's great advice. Do you have, so for some kids who are just coming into the workforce, maybe they're getting out of college, maybe they're getting out of high school, do you have any advice? A lot of first people's jobs are fast food place, Walmart. My dad always told me, don't ever take a job that you won't learn from. So my jobs growing up was, I built fences. I worked at a Dollar General for about 2 weeks. I didn't really learn anything there. Worked at a gym, learned a lot of personal training stuff there. So is there some advice that you could give maybe someone who's going into a situation where they're about to leave their house and try to make it?
Yeah, and I think I can speak to this pretty well. I'm not a pro at any of this at all. I'm just a guy that's been figuring it out for the past 4 years, so 5 years. At this point, I'm 23, 22. Am I 22? 22. I'm 23. I'm 22, turning 23 in December this year. But when I left home in 2019, I graduated high school. I went to college for about a semester, and it didn't work. COVID hit shortly after, and the world stopped, and I had to figure out, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Told my mom I was dropping out of school, and she went on a rage tangent and like, what are you gonna do with your life? And I was like,
as moms do.
I brutally said, and I regret saying this to her because it was pretty harsh, but I said, Mom, your opinion does not matter right now. I don't care what you're saying really at all, because this is not your life. Mm-hmm. You're not living it. You're not me. You're not even remotely, in my brain. You don't see the vision I have. Although I tell you the vision, you don't see it because it's not your vision for me, and it's not the vision you have for yourself, which is totally okay.
Sure. With
that being said, if you're leaving home, you might go to college, you might not. But if you don't go to college, get a job that you're gonna want to do for at least a year or two.
Okay.
In this day and age, no one expects. Well, people do expect people to stay at jobs for like 5 years, and that's totally unrealistic. Like,
yeah.
people grow, evolve, and change every month. Like, you might outgrow the job in 6 months and you need to leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't give you promotion. If they don't give you promotion, just go ahead and dip. Like,
Sure.
deuces. But for the most part, get you a nice job that you're going to enjoy and not hate, because don't do anything you hate, because then you'll be miserable and you'll be going to work, not wanting to go to work. And I've done that way too much over the past 5 years. I go to work and I'm just like, I get paid good, but I hate this place.
Yeah.
So I don't do that. But once you do that, figure out what you really want to do. Like, if you want to be a gamer, YouTuber, you want to be a media production, you want to do Hollywood films, like, figure that out and then use that job to fuel that dream, essentially. So put some money aside each month. Maybe you want to move to LA and do films. Put a LA fund to the side.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to get you a nice apartment to start, building your studio. Put some money to the side for that. Just plan it out accordingly.
Sure.
For the most part, I forgot the question, but I think I answered it though.
No, yeah, it was the question originally was giving advice to people who are entering the workforce. Yeah. But yeah, you knocked it out of the ballpark, man. That was a great answer. I think that'll help out a lot of different kids. So obviously fitness is a huge part of your life. And just to close, I wanted to ask you this question. So most kids are going through some sort of depression. Myself went through quite a bit of depression. I, struggle with it every once in a while. But I do notice I feel better after going to the gym. Is that something that helps you mentally? Do you struggle with mental health at all? And if you do, what are some things that help you out?
Yeah, definitely. I think this generation struggles with mental health more than any generation that's ever lived. Just because there's phones now, and there's social media, there's reality TV, there's YouTube series, there's a whole bunch of crap that pollutes our brains that make us think we need to be, driving Lamborghinis, we need to be wearing Gucci shoes, Gucci hats, Gucci clothes, we need to be in Louis Vuitton luggage, and it's very unrealistic because these guys are on these TV shows and all these things promoting this crazy lifestyle like it's just attainable in 4 business days, and they don't ever show you. Some do, but they don't ever show you the work it took to get there. So with that knowledge in hand, that then creates a open lane for depression and anxiety and all these different mental illnesses to drop right in.
Produced by Podcast Architects.